Okay, I'm shooting this video for, the Broward County Sheriff's Department down in Florida, and I'm shooting this video for the cops in Los Angeles. I'm a huge fan of these First Amendment audits. I think they're hilarious. They just sort of, tickle my funny bone. And I can't believe that after all of the encounters that we've seen with these First Amendment auditors all over the U.S. and the things that the cops are dealing with these people, that the police haven't figured out that the very Constitution that these guys are using to drive you nuts has something in it that you can completely turn the tables on them. And I'm specifically talking about their refusal to ID and your inability to get their ID. The Sixth Amendment is what I'm talking about, and a particular sentence in the Sixth Amendment. That's the only thing you need to ID these people in the situations that they love putting you in. Here's what I'm talking about. The guys out there, photograph or videotaping the front gate of the police station or a military base. And the cops show up, and what's the first thing you guys say? What are you doing? I'm exercising my First Amendment right to photography. Well, the Supreme Court has ruled on that. They're allowed to videotape anything they can see in public, and whether it's suspicious or not, suspicion cannot be used to ID somebody for exercising a constitutionally protected activity. Fine, they've got you there. If you can't articulate a crime that you suspect them of committing, you can't ID them, and they drive you nuts with it. Look at the Sixth Amendment. It says you have the right to know the identity of your accuser. Look at what these guys do. Wait for them to open their mouth. They always say at some point, oh, this cop's violating my First Amendment right to public photography. That's an accusation. They just accused one of the police officers on the scene of violating their constitutional right. Here's what the police should be doing. At that point, the guy that's accused keeps his mouth shut. The other cop says to the cop that's just been accused, this man here, or woman, if it's pink camera magic, shout out to her because I think she's awesome, says to the auditor, you've just been accused. So he's saying to the one cop saying to the other cop, you've just been accused of violating this person's First Amendment rights. I'm going to open an investigation to see if you have done that or not. The cop that has just been accused of violating the rights turns to the cop that's now doing the investigation of him and says, that's fine. I'm invoking my Sixth Amendment right to know the identity of the person that is accusing me of violating their rights. At that point, the other cop turns to the guy with the camera and says, produce your ID. Come on, guys. The Constitution is really clear. Sixth Amendment, you have the right to know the name of your accuser. As soon as the auditor accuses one of you of committing a crime, and usually it's violating their First Amendment right or Second Amendment right for open carry, whatever the case may be, at that point, state that you're starting an investigation against the officer that's been accused. That officer demands to know the identity of their accuser, and you get to ID the guy. know your Constitution. There's some really cool stuff in there. Read it. Actually sit down and read it for once in your life. You can ID these guys the second they open their mouth and make an accusation against one of you. You have the right under the Sixth Amendment. And as a side note, President Trump, this whistleblower thing, the trial's over. As soon as the trial begins, if they ever do impeach you, because they're refusing to name your accuser. And under the Sixth Amendment, you have the right to know the name of your accuser when the accusation has been made and the investigation starts. Point that out to Chief Justice Roberts, and he will say your constitutional rights were violated and the charges are dropped. Have a good day.